Good morning. Hello, this is Matias. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. Today, I wanted to talk about something. Ooh. Seems like that is the theme, right? Matias talks about something. That could be the name of this channel, but it isn't. Today, I want to talk about Confucius, okay? And I got to get the jokes out of the way first. I'm sorry about the jokes. They had to happen, okay? So, Confucius say, man who stand on toilet, high on pot. Confucius say, man who go to bed with itchy bum, wake up with smelly finger. Okay, so those are the jokes. So let's get on to the real stuff. So the real truth is, I want to talk about one thing, okay? Confucius said, respect yourself and others will respect you, okay? And that's what I want to talk about today is respect. And what does that mean? Respect yourself. It's interesting because so many people don't. So many people don't respect themselves. And it's visible in their actions. It's visible in their words, in the way that they prioritize their lives and prioritize their own well-being. I myself, I'm no better than anyone else. Hey, guess what? Just a person. This guy, just a person, okay? And I can be vulnerable to the entire world. That's okay, because that's what YouTube is, right? Anybody can see this. And, you know, I smoked cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I did. And it's crazy because I didn't start smoking cigarettes until I was 18. Actually, I didn't smoke any tobacco. Well, that's not entirely true. I didn't buy any tobacco before I was 18. But I knew cigarettes were bad for me. I knew that they were terrible. I was raised in a household where there was no smoking. Like, drinking was basically non-existent. Um, you know, good, clean Christian living, right? You know, all that stuff. You know, if they're out there, if they're watching this, hey guys, mom, dad, I appreciate you. Okay, you guys did the best job that you could have with the knowledge and the resources that you had, and that's fantastic. But even knowing that cigarettes were bad for me, I mean, I got an A in my health class in like 10th grade or whatever it was. I got A in most of my classes. Because I paid attention. I knew what they were talking about, and I was able to pass the test and regurgitate the information. But I knew already. I went through that education of like cigarettes are bad. They contain like 1,200 chemicals, blah blah blah. And I still smoked cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Yeah, I thought it looked cool. Okay, there's that, you know. I thought it was cool, but it has more than that. I didn't respect myself. I challenge you in your life, in your day-to-day, what are you doing that shows the world that you don't respect yourself? Think about it. For me, I'm going to say right now, hands in the air, I consume more alcohol than I probably should. Now, I don't drink like I used to. I used to drink like a fish. I mean, fishes can't even drink like I used to drink, right? You know, we used to pound a half gallon of vodka like every other day. Truth. That's truth. You know, now that's not the case anymore. You know, we don't drink that stuff very often. Um, you know, I mostly try to stick to red wine and keep it to a semi-reasonable amount. You know, I only drink 3 bottles a night. I'm kidding. But think about that in your own life. What opportunities are there for you to show yourself more respect? What opportunities are there? And then don't sit there and beat yourself up over it. That doesn't do anything, right? Like, oh no, I didn't get up early and work out. Who cares? Guess what? There's still tomorrow, right? Just do the next thing. All we can ever do, right? Because we only exist in this moment, right? Right now. That's when you exist, okay? And that's always going to be true. Like, you can plan for the future and you can do whatever, but you're only ever going to exist in this moment. So decide well in this moment. This is the moment you have. This is the time you have. This is what you have available to you. The options in front of you, there's always going to be a better choice and a not as good choice, right? Respect yourself. Pick the better choice, And it's a gradual process. You're not going to be as good at respecting yourself now as you will be in the future. Improve, right? And I, for one thing, personally, I do not believe in perfection. I just don't. It's not an earthly concept. It's just not. And if you think about real perfection, right? Like, the closest you can get is probably mathematics, right? But if you look at real life, yeah, there's some echoes of those mathematics, but there's messiness. Real life is messy. It's just not clean cut. And so instead of perfection, I strive for excellence. Excellence is achievable. You can be excellent. You may not ever be perfect, but you can absolutely be excellent. And that comes down to making the choices in this moment, in this day, that can help you, right? I like to think of it. We're going to go down a rabbit hole now. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? You ready to go down this rabbit hole? Okay, here we go. Think of yourself as only being yourself in the present, okay? That's the only you that there is, right? That's you. That's the real you, okay? Now, think of your past self, the self that has already gone, that you'll never be again, okay? Think of that as a separate person. And I like to frequently thank my past self for everything that he did to get me here. He worked his butt off. He made a lot of bad choices too, but that's okay. He worked his butt off. And I'm really thankful to my past self for this moment, for the things that he did to get me here. Okay. Now, if you're only ever your present self, okay, that's the only self you can ever really be, and your past self is a separate person, then your future self must be another person too, right? And so if you see your future self as a person separate from your present self, the one that you always will be, okay, I like to treat my future self like my best friend. Man, respect yourself, and respect yourself with love, right? And so what I like to do is I like to find opportunities to bless my future self, okay? And that's going to be simple behaviors like preparation, simple things like putting things away the right way, so that they're ready for the next time, right? Even dumb stuff like rinsing a dish because the dishwasher is already full and running and it's got to sit there for 2 hours. Rinse the oatmeal off the dish now and it won't stick to the, yeah, you know what I mean? Setting your clothes out for tomorrow. These are winning behaviors because you're honoring and respecting your future self, which is, again, it's respecting yourself. Now, back to what Confucius said. Now, Confucius said, respect yourself and others will respect you. Okay. It's because it's visible. It's visible how you regard yourself. People can see it. Okay. I don't have a job. I only answer to myself. And I got this going this morning, right? Why? Why? because I respect myself. And I knew I was going to be on video, and I want to put my best foot forward, and I just always want to be excellent. Everything I do, be excellent, right? And I could have worn a t-shirt and a blazer still looks good, whatever, right? But I wanted to wear this shirt. I love the purple shirt. I wanted to steam it. I wanted it to be excellent, right? I wanted to just be the best that I can be. And that's going to vary, right? Your be excellent, it's not going to be the same as my be excellent. You may have opportunities to be more excellent than me. That's awesome. I salute you. You're great. But they'll be different. They'll be different than my own opportunities to be excellent. You know, yesterday okay, so back up a little bit. Okay. I'm here in Washington State in America. And here in the Puget Sound area near Seattle, we had some really fun weather the other day. And so basically we had, I don't know, like 3 or 4 inches of snow that fell. And snow is horribly inconvenient. So yesterday it was above freezing temperatures. Now I already salted the driveway. I salted all that before this fun started. And it was above freezing temperatures. So I said, oh man, this is my chance. And I got the snow shovel where if you're careful, if you're really careful, you do not need to lift it off the ground. You can push it just like a plow, just like a snow plow. And so, of course, just like with the snow plow, the trick is to only take a small bite because it'll add up by the time you get to the end of the row. Anyways, so it was above freezing temperatures yesterday. And so I got out and I pushed some snow, okay? Because, and this is just to tie this full circle, right? It was going to be super cold, okay? And I know that future Matias wants to be able to access the road. And so I did that, right? And so I got out there and I pushed some snow, and I'll be honest with you, I've been working in an office for like over a decade, and mostly, okay, I did some project management, some other stuff in between. But I am out of shape. I did the best I could, but my goodness. I mean, toward the end, I was like, oh, thank God that there's a low impact way to do this. You know, but again, I got out there and I got some of the snow out of the way. I made access to the road, and I put de-icer, I put some salt down. Not because it was the most fun thing for present Matias to do. In fact, I rather didn't enjoy it. Well, that's not entirely true. I do have a tendency to try and enjoy anything I'm doing. So good luck with that. But let's just say that if I got to pick between different activities, that would probably not be something I would pick. But I did it for future Matias, right? I did it for future Matias because future Matias needed it. And so I showed myself respect in that way. Now, were there other things that fed into it? I got a note from one of the neighbors. They said, thank you. That was nice. I didn't think that was going to happen, right? I don't care. I don't need anyone's approval. I don't need any validation. In fact, I really hope that there can be some haters that write some comments on here. And guess what? Yeah, the chat, the comments are moderated, but write some hateful stuff. It's cool, right? And that'll just give us a measure of how far you are from where you're going to be, right? But anyways, so respect yourself, respect yourself, respect yourself, respect yourself. Think about the ways that you can show that you respect yourself, and think about the opportunities that you have. Think about the opportunities that you have to respect yourself more. No one can answer that question for you, right? You just need to stop and think about this. And in fact, I'm probably not supposed to say this, but turn off YouTube, set a timer for 10 minutes, and sit in silence and just think, or don't think. Very powerful stuff. Well, listen, I've got some other nonsense to do. I've got work to do on my book. I've got reading that I need to do. I'm reading another Napoleon Hill book. Fun. That guy, brilliant. 4-0. Are you ready? If you're watching this in the morning, you're going to have an amazing day. And if you're watching this in the evening, you're going to have an amazing day tomorrow. So just be your best self and respect yourself. Show others that you care. How about you?